Still to come, horse racing from right around Australia with Keith Hillier. A wrap of tennis, including the Davis Cup, America Triumphs, and the Compact Cup out of Munich. A wrap of motorsport, Tony Longhurst's victory at Auckland. Tom Maher, the new coach of the Australian women's basketball team. Plus the gruelling Tasmanian Tamar Classic. Yes, lots more still to come on Sportsworld. Well, during the week we were trying to work out, Keith and myself, what races we'd play this weekend. And Keith, I don't know about you, but I thought we were going to be pretty light on. But as it turned out, there was a lot of interest in racing right around Australia yesterday.
Absolutely, Bruce. In fact, racing is going to be big over Christmas and New Year in all states, and it really warmed up yesterday with racing action in South Australia, the West, in Sydney, and here in Melbourne also. And even in Queensland, Keith, where they had a Bucks Pride won the big race there, they had a power strike for about 40 minutes in Queensland, and they reckon they lost about $1 million in turnover there yesterday, so they had some problems in Queensland and Brisbane. Well, it was bad luck for Brisbane. At Flemington, the power was on in a different way. 2 records broken. Lovey, a mare who we've never considered to be anything special, ran the fastest 1,400 metres ever in Australia, maybe the world, and Mr. Cube broke his own record, and Frontier Boy equalled Let's Elope's Australian Cup 2,000 metre record. You really had to pinch yourself, didn't you, being at Flemington yesterday, to actually believe it. More about that in a moment. Western Australia, 3 big races. Dancing Bow won the Karrakatta Plate, the Group 1 for 2-year-olds, but the Lee Steer Stakes I thought was the most interesting race from right around Australia, with Barossa Boy, Planet Ruler and Welcome Night all engaged. Yes, at the finish it was Barossa Boy and Planet Ruler who started joint favourites. Barossa Boy finished 3rd. Planet Ruler just missing the place. Yeah, they seem to have every chance. Barossa Boy worked hard early. Planet Ruler was close enough on the turn, but this is a very good horse, Welcome Night. He was an ex-South Australian who was in and out. He's found some very good form in Western Australia, and the run of this place getter just behind him, Double Dignity, is excellent from a railway stakes point of view. Let's have a look at yesterday's Lee Steer Stakes.
Happy Hand, the leader by 1.5, Barossa Boy, 1 Welcome Night and a half, Lincoln's Court, 3/4 Double Dignity, followed by Planet Ruler, still sneaking up along the inside rail from Yoganji Gold, High Purge, Blonde Jev taken wide from Pago's King, and Medicine Kid at the bend, 4:50 to go, and Welcome Night raced around the outside to go to the lead, from Double Dignity. Barossa Boy had to get around the tiring Happy Hand, then came behind them Yoganji Gold and Planet Ruler getting clear. 2:50 to go, Welcome Night leads by 1.5, Double Dignity, Barossa Boy. Planet Ruler can't win at this stage. Welcome Night still in front. Double Dignity is coming at him. Welcome Night, but is going home too well. And Welcome Night wins a half a length, Double Dignity. 3rd, 2 lengths away, Barossa Boy. That race was a big lead up to the Railway Stakes, which is the Group 1 1,600 metre race over the Christmas period. Yes, that's run on December 28. I think the first 4 or 5 place getters would all be strong chances. The winner there, Welcome Night, Bruce carried 58, I think, yesterday, yes, and drops to 53.5. Correct, so he comes runner-up drops to 6.5, the runner-up, so they're both very well in. Just with Planet Rule, I thought Michael Clark rode a perfect race, but he's the sort of horse that I think in a way likes to be further back than he was. He might have been too close. I know it sounds a bit silly. Yes, his big wins, especially at Flemington, have been when he's come from the tail of the field, so yeah, maybe you're right. Well, talk about come from the tail of the field. Have a look at the Western Australian Oaks in a moment. There were 3 scratchings at the barrier, including Michael Clark's Mount Colt figure, who went berserk on the stalls. The second last horse on the turn, you can see she's travelling, Jevrisa, a grey horse. She looks to be bolting, and watch her finishing performance. At the 800, and Riviera Girl, now joined by Ali Dar Star. Behind him, Palacious, 3 wide, Georgie Lady, and Media Missa held up. Prime again about to go, then see Bounty Calypso, and they're followed by Jev Ressa. At the 500, and Ali Dar Star, Palacious have joined Riviera Girl. Now, Prime again around Georgie Lady. Medium is badly held up, dragged backwards on the bend, and then Calypso and see Bounty around the bend. Oliver said go, and Palacious by 1.5 to Prime again, Georgie Lady, and Calypso down the outside. Palacious the leader, Georgie Lady the inside, and here's Jev Ressa followed by Prime again. Palacious the leader, Jev Ressa getting to her. Palacious and Jev Ressa by G Photo. Oh, I don't know. Palacious or Jev Ressa. Tight for 3rd. Well, I don't blame you for not knowing Jev Ressa getting there on the line. Not a good race for Michael Clark. No, he was offered the ride on Jev Ressa, who started at 50 to 1, so therefore the photo was important, wasn't it? Because Damien Oliver's mount was 11 to 4. Michael could have ridden the winner. As it turned out, he didn't ride in the race because Colt Figure, his mount, trained by John Hawkes, was pulled out at the barrier, Bruce.
Now, Lovey, what about her? Well, I'm not calling you Lovey, by the way, Keith.
I hope not.
I'm just talking about the horse, Lovey. 1:20.6 yesterday. It works out that she ran 7 lengths faster yesterday than Vane ran his fastest mile at Flemington. How'd you like to put those two together, Vane and Lovey?
Well, it's almost unacceptable, isn't it? Yet Lovey has done it. She did it fair and square too, I might add, because Ron King, who's had a lot of time at Flemington, has measured the track. The measurements are right, although the false rail was out.
Well, give us an explanation then, Keith. You've been going to the races for 2 or 3 years now.
Well, I haven't been going long enough to come up with an explanation, Bruce, except to say that conditions were perfect. Flemington had its first fast-rated track since April, but we've had fast-rated tracks before, including some of the times when Vane and Placid Arc and Co blitzed their rivals, and they were not in Lovey's league.
Well, I'm going to be controversial for a moment. Nothing against Lovey or Frontier Boy or Mr Q, but I reckon it takes something away when Frontier Boy and 2 other horses can go over the line and equal Let's Elope's record, and Lovey yesterday can smash the record like that. I think it just takes something away from the great horses that run there in the past. Maybe I'm being stupid, I don't know.
Look, I almost have to agree with you.
Oh, don't do that. You haven't done that in the past.
I know I haven't, but you cannot put Lovey in the Vane and Placid Arc.
Exactly.
And Frontier Boy's not a Let's Elope either, is he?
He sure isn't, that's for sure. Anyway, let's go and see just how Lovey ran the fastest 1,400 metres ever run in Australia. You haven't seen anything like it before.
Minyama bolted around the turn towards the 650. In his favoured roll, he's over 2 in front of Lovey. A length and a half away, Feeling. Always a handy third, followed by Brosberg. Looks great now, pulls to the outside, followed by Prince Ormidium Semtip. Then Zapari, 2 lengths away, Wag back in the field, followed by Colonial Spirit. At the 400 metres, Minyama, a length in front. Lovey on the outside is coming out after it, with Feeling on the outside now, under the whip and making ground. Followed 2 lengths away, Zapari, followed by Brosberg. At the 200 metres, Lovey on the outside, hit the lead from Minyama. Feeling on the outsiders, trying to pick up Lovey. Lovey clear at the 100-metre mark, though. Feeling on the outsiders, trying very hard. Lovey clear over the concluding stages, and Lovey gets there. Lovey wins by a length and a quarter, Feeling. Tight third, Minyama or Colonial Spirit, who flew.
Yeah, 1:20.6 the clock stopped. She comes back for the Christmas handicap at Caulfield on Boxing Day.
She'd won her previous start, Bruce. Yesterday's time was a 12 lengths improvement on her previous run. Not only did she nick a little off the record, she shaved 0.8 of a second off. It's just the most unbelievable timing thing you would ever see at the races.
Like Carl Lewis running 8 seconds for 100 metres. Keith, you'd have to pinch yourself, and I have been pinching myself ever since. Mr Cube yesterday broke his own record over 1,100 metres, and it was his first win, by the way, since he set that record on Anzac Day. Here's his flashing finish. He takes the lead with about 200 to go.
Lights on racing. Jack Pill, Redelva bounced out very quickly. Chief Headhunter only fairly away. Olympus just in behind them, followed by Blushing Bijou. A length away, Century Rising, followed just in behind them as they settle down by Western Voyage. And dropping out to the tail now is Del Rayo. Over the course proper they race towards the 800 metres. It's Jack Pill on the outside of Chief Headhunter. Just in behind them came Redelva, followed on the outside by Olympus going forward. So too is Western Voyage on the outside, followed by Century Rising. A length and a half away, Del Rayo, followed 2 lengths away back in the field by Blushing Bijou, and Mr Cuba dropped out to the tail towards the 450. Jack Pilly outside of Chief Headhunter, making a line of 3 on the outside, and coming out after them Jolly Joker, the roughie, running a big race. Just in behind them, needing a run, Western Voyage, followed by Redelva. Mr Cube from last is now pulling towards the centre of the track. Oh, he's rounding them up very, very quickly. He hit the lead now at the 120, Mr Cube. He's come from last, he raced away. Western Voyage getting into second placing, then Redelva. But Mr Cube is far too good for them. Mr Cube wins by a length and a half, Western Voyage. 2 lengths away, third Redelva.
He had 3 duck eggs next to his name, but all on heavy tracks or slow tracks.
As you mentioned, Bruce, he held the record at Flemington. He also held a record at Ascot. Yesterday, he ran his last 800 metres in 43.4 seconds. My pay doesn't go that quickly.
You get paid enough. Gee, it was a run, wasn't it? This is a good horse. Dance the Day Away. He's probably the favourite now for the Australian Derby after this win. He's a most promising 3-year-old.
Around the turn they race towards the 700. Illustrious Power still in front. A length to Karen Key and Stormline on the outside. Now making ground out 3 wide. Travels up to the leader quickly. 2 lengths away, God's Image. Followed in behind them by True Row and Noble Swell. Man Rebo third last. Followed 2 lengths away by Dance the Day Away second last. And back of the tail is Billy Bay Rum. Dance the Day Away now pulls to the outside wide. Inside the 400 metres. Karen Key got to the leader, Illustrious Power. Then True Row and getting out. Followed by God's Image. Man Rebo making ground, and Dance Dance the Day Away is now putting in the big strides on the outside towards the 250, and Dance the Day Away raced up on the outside, grabbed the lead, and he's racing away for Paces Australia. God's Image getting into second placing, then Man Rebo, Karen Key, Noble Swell, but Dance the Day Away bolts in. Dance the Day Away wins by 3. God's Image second, third Noble Swell.
Gee, Keith, can I start early? Can I put him on my Melbourne Cup tips already? I know it's December. It's 11 months away.
Well, I thought you
he
might
looks a good thing in the Melbourne Cup to me already.
I thought you would. And throw in front of your boy into boot.
No, not. He's had too many chances front of your boy.
All right. It's probably the only horse in Australia to have been through the stables of...
Lee Freedman.
Yes.
David Hayes and Bart Cummins.
And Bart Cummins, the top trio. Quite a good horse, Dance the Day Away. He's off to the west now. I think he'll acquit himself well there. He's improving with every outing, and he's in good hands. Gerald Ryan, the ex-jockey's a very good trainer. He works hard and he's getting his rewards, Bruce.
Yes, he's having a terrific run. Soho Square yesterday won his first race since the Doncaster, winning the big lead up to the Villiers. He was pretty impressive.
In front by a length or more to On Kylie's Run. 1.5 to Red Tonic, 1.5 to Pharaoh. On the inside of Promenade Dandy, Bella Snapper's out 3 deep. A gap then to Generous Prince and Spot the Rock, followed by Manly Star 3 wide. Further back, He's No Saint. Blaylock's Bull is off the track. On the fence, Play Safe, and 4 lengths away. Last is Rough Shake as they come around the corner. Heads a turn for home. Soho Square, the leader from On Kylie's Run, and Red Tonic on the outside. Pharaoh is on the fence behind those leaders, followed by Promenade Dandy, and then Generous Prince and Bella Snap as they come to the 200 mark. Soho Square kicked, he's going strongly. 2 lengths in front of Pharaoh, followed by Red Tonic, and then On Kylie's Run and Bella Snap. Soho Square, this year's Doncaster winner, going strongly, 100 out. Pharaoh can't do any better, and Soho Square holding him at bay will win it well, and it's Soho Square beating Pharaoh a length or a bit more, with Bella Snap in 3rd place.
Goes for the Villiers, as I said, next week. What a difference on top of the ground's made to that horse as well. The whole spring could have been different, Keith, had the rain not come.
I'm sure it would have been, as you mentioned. He had not won since the Doncaster in April. Yesterday he, I think he was less than 1/5 of a second outside the record. Jim Cassidy aboard. Paddy Payne suspended, missed that ride.
Gee, Keith, it's been a big week, a terrific week for lots of people, including you. Now, you celebrated a birthday on Thursday night. Can I dare ask how old you were? Because we have got a little treat for you in just a moment.
This is testing the friendship, Bruce, but it was the big one, 50.
Well, I thought it might be 50, Keith. So, on behalf of the Sportsworld crew, the cake, Simone, our makeup person, has baked that cake for you this morning, and there are 50 candles on there, Keithy. It was a terrific night, I can tell you.
Thanks, Bruce. We won't light it. We'll start a bonfire. Ah, dear. I'm as red as my jacket.
Not quite. Congratulations, Keith, and we'll see you next week when we wrap up the year. Max Presnell's going to join us as well, so we could have a bit of sparring.
I'm looking forward to that, and thanks for the lovely surprise, Simone and gang.
Good on you. Keith Hilliard joining us on Racing. After the break, harness racing. Good mate of Keith's going to join us. His name's Neil Donnelly as we look at the big race from Bankstown last night.